Each morning you open your eyes, you stand at the threshold of a miracle, a moment in time that will never come again, a day that will unfold once and vanish forever. When the earth turns and the sun crests the horizon, it is not merely a routine event. It is a sacred ceremony, a reminder that you are still here, still breathing, still capable of shaping your destiny. We are never promised another sunrise. We are never owed another chance. Realizing this profound and urgent truth is the first step toward mastering not only your mornings, but your entire life. There is no truth more electrifying than this. Each new morning is both a gift and a call to arms. It is the raw energy that can fuel your soul and electrify your mind. If life feels heavy, if stress suffocates you, if the thought of work or duty weighs down your spirit, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. When facing the reluctance to rise from his own warm bed, he told himself, "I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" The Stoics would have us engrave this into our hearts. All things are temporary. Everything you see, touch, feel, even the breath in your lungs, is fleeting. To live well is to honor the present moment. Gratitude is not simply a virtue, it is a survival skill of the soul. The warmth of a home, the taste of food, the ability to laugh, the chance to love. These are gifts we are entrusted with, not entitlements. Remember again the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. We live only now. Everything else is either past or is unknown. Each morning, make gratitude your first act of rebellion against apathy. Open your eyes and recognize the miracle that you are still alive, still given the rare and golden opportunity to make something of today. Never allow yourself to drift into the numbness of just another day. Tomorrow is a myth. It is vapor. Today is the only reality you possess. Understand, this truth is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to set fire to your spirit so that you live each minute with intensity, clarity, and love. Marcus Aurelius reminds us again, your days are numbered. Use them to throw open the windows of your soul to the sun. If you do not, the sun will soon set, and you with it. In the chapters ahead, we will uncover not only powerful truths, but the practical disciplines to master your morning and, in doing so, master yourself. Begin today. There is no later. There is only now. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The First Thought. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Your first thought of the day is the compass needle that points to your destiny. It is easy, almost automatic, to allow your mind to drift toward dread, to the demands awaiting you, or the comfort of rolling over and hiding from life. But the Stoic way demands a conscious, defiant choice. Imagine opening your eyes with gratitude, truly feeling the magnitude of the opportunity laid before you. Not a hollow repetition of, "I am thankful," but a soul-deep recognition. You have been gifted another day, a fresh battlefield where your character can be forged, your mind can be honed, your soul can be fortified. This first conscious moment is a sacred prayer without words, a deliberate setting of intention that silently but powerfully influences every thought, every emotion, every act that will follow. Pause and reflect. How rare, how miraculous it is to have the chance to rise again, to breathe again, to strive again. Think for a moment about the countless souls who have walked this earth before you, who have loved and lost, hoped and struggled, and yet today it is you who have been gifted another sunrise. Billions before you would have traded all they had for one more morning, one more opportunity to choose, to act, to live. Most of humanity throughout history lived without the comforts you now easily overlook. The simple warmth that shields you from the cold, the sturdy shelter that guards you against storms, the nourishing food that sustains your body, the safety that allows your spirit to dream. What you possess today, kings and emperors once coveted but could not attain. You have inherited an existence brimming with staggering possibility, and to open your eyes to this reality is to awaken a profound gratitude, a sacred sense of duty to honor the fleeting wonder of existence. Recognizing this transforms what might seem mundane into something luminous and extraordinary. It infuses the most ordinary moments, the feel of water on your skin, the sound of your own heartbeat, with meaning. Gratitude is not merely a polite sentiment. It is the armor against apathy, the fire against despair. The practice is simple, yet its simplicity is deceptive. It demands far more than casual attention. It demands your reverence, your full presence. Upon waking, resist the pull of the digital world. Do not let your hand reach for your phone. Let your mind be yours before the world stakes its claim. Sit quietly, feel the gentle thrum of life coursing through you, the steady rhythm of your breath, the miraculous aliveness of your body. Contemplate the fragility and wonder of this moment. Think of the day not as a burden to survive, but as a sacred opportunity to live with fierce virtue. Consider deeply who you wish to be, the kind of person who remains an island of calm in a sea of chaos, who acts justly even when injustice thrives, who perseveres without complaint even when the climb is steep and the night is dark. Reflect on the character you are shaping with every decision, every thought, every action. Visualize yourself meeting every challenge today with the heart of a lion and the wisdom of a sage. See yourself honoring every person with dignity, approaching every task with full-hearted diligence, transforming even the smallest act into a testament to your inner excellence. Begin your day not by bracing for impact, but by preparing to carve meaning into the hours ahead. Approach each morning as an artist faces a blank canvas, not with fear, but with a daring heart, or as a warrior stands at the gates of battle, not with dread, but with unwavering resolve. The world will test you. The world will try to distract you, seduce you, exhaust you. But you, prepared in the stillness of the morning, will stand unshaken. This is not mere survival. This is conscious, powerful living, a fierce devotion to crafting a life of purpose, integrity, and courage. Place a small card next to your bed with a question written on it. How will I honor the gift of today? Read it before rising. Let your first thought be an intentional one. Chapter 2. Winning the First Battle. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. The warmth of the bed is seductive. It whispers soft justifications. 5 more minutes won't hurt. You deserve a little more rest. The world can wait. It cloaks its temptations in comfort, weaving a subtle web of excuses that feel almost rational. But the Stoic knows, this is the voice of weakness, the sly saboteur of ambition, and each time we yield to it, we strengthen its grip. Each concession, no matter how small, is a slow corrosion of discipline and will. The first battle of the day is getting up. It is not merely about leaving the comfort of the bed. It is the first confrontation between who you are and who you aspire to be. Rising promptly is not a trivial act. It is a fierce, resounding declaration. I am in control of myself. I will not be ruled by laziness or fleeting desires. It is a moment of self-mastery so potent that it echoes throughout your day like the strike of a bell that vibrates through all subsequent hours. Like the first domino falling forward, It initiates a cascade of victories that make other challenges appear smaller, more surmountable, more inevitable to overcome. Win this initial skirmish, and you do more than simply start your day. You set a tone of triumph that permeates every thought, every action, every confrontation with difficulty. You build momentum, and momentum, once earned, can carry you through fatigue, temptation, and adversity with surprising ease. Lose this first battle, however, and the day begins on unstable ground, every following decision made that much harder, your resistance to distraction weakened. Understand this deeply. You are not fighting the bed, the alarm clock, or the dim light of the early morning. You are confronting yourself, the lesser version of you, the one that clings to comfort, the one that seduces you into abandoning the higher path. It is a battle against the self that prefers ease over excellence, comfort over growth, excuses over execution. Every morning you overcome this self. You take a sledgehammer to mediocrity. You chip away at your weaknesses with disciplined blows, exposing the resilient, powerful soul that exists within. Victory at this seemingly insignificant crossroads is a profound symbol. It is the first proof of the day that your higher nature can prevail, that discipline can override impulse, that your life belongs to the one who chooses with clarity and strength, not the one who surrenders to fleeting comfort. Rise with courage, for the battle is won not through brute force, but through will sharpened by purpose. Rise with resolve, knowing that by stepping out of bed when it is hardest, you are stepping into your own greatness. Rise as though the world needs the best version of you, because it does. Set your alarm and place it across the room, not beside you. When it sounds, rise immediately. Take 3 deep breaths and speak aloud. I am stronger than my impulses. Chapter 3. The Morning Reflection. Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Before the world imposes its chaos upon you, the morning offers a rare, clear space for reflection. The Stoics practiced a morning meditation, envisioning the day ahead, contemplating possible obstacles, and preparing their minds to meet them with virtue. Sit quietly, eyes closed, or looking at the early light filtering through your window. Visualize the day, the tasks, the conversations, the temptations. Anticipate frustration, rudeness, fatigue, not with dread, but with acceptance. These are natural elements of life. Your job is not to avoid them, but to respond to them with wisdom. This mental rehearsal fortifies your inner citadel with layers of resilience, foresight, and impenetrable calm. When difficulties inevitably arise, when tempers flare unexpectedly, obstacles materialize without warning, or the heavy burden of unforeseen events falls squarely upon your shoulders, they will not seize you by surprise or knock you off your centered foundation. You will have already faced them in your mind's eye. You will have braced your heart and prepared your soul for the tests to come, rendering them far less intimidating and destabilizing. You will respond not with panic, anger, or despair, but with steady, deliberate strength, the kind of strength that does not waver under pressure, the kind that does not dissolve when challenged. You will meet challenges not as a novice fumbling through chaos, but with the practiced poise of a seasoned warrior, a warrior who has not only sharpened his sword, but also tempered his spirit through countless unseen battles waged in the silent, sacred hours of disciplined reflection. These battles are not won in grand theaters, but in the quiet moments where no one watches, when you choose resilience over resignation. In these early, deliberate meditations, you are not merely rehearsing hypothetical scenarios. You are sculpting the very foundation of who you are. Every silent rehearsal is a laying of stone upon stone in the fortress of your character. You are forging an unshakable internal spirit that does not waver in the face of chaos, but stands resolute, clear, and unwavering. You are building the intricate muscle memory of virtue itself, training patience until it is as natural to you as breathing, courage until it surges forth like a river without hesitation, wisdom until it becomes the intuitive lens through which you view all things. Each visualization, each moment of reflection, carves deeper neural pathways that favor excellence over excuses, resilience over resignation. You ingrain within yourself the reflexes of nobility and inner strength so thoroughly, so repeatedly, that when the trials of real life arrive, and they always will, your better nature will rise, not as a forced action, but as an effortless, instinctual response. Virtue will become your default, not your effortful exception. This daily mental preparation becomes more than just a habit. It becomes your invisible armor, a finely tempered shield that deflects bitterness, frustration, and despair. It becomes a sacred part of your being, a secret weapon for navigating the chaos and unpredictability of life, not just with survival, but with grace, composure, and dignity. In the quiet moments before the noise of the world begins, you forge a soul that nothing, no insult, no setback, no storm, can break. Each morning, journal for 5 minutes. Write, "Today I expect," and list potential challenges. Then write, "I will respond with," and state the virtues you intend to embody. Chapter 4. Aligning with Nature. Everything harmonizes with me, which is harmonious to you, O universe. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics spoke often of living according to nature. They did not mean hugging trees or abandoning society, but aligning oneself with the rational order of the cosmos. Morning is the perfect time to reconnect with this idea. Notice how the sun rises without complaint, the birds sing without hesitation, the river flows without resistance. Everything fulfills its nature without bitterness. So too must we begin our day not with resentment, reluctance, or sluggishness, but with the eager fulfillment of our most essential human purpose: to think rightly, to act justly, to endure bravely, and to live fully. Morning is not a burden, but a stage, a sacred theater where the first act of the day is played out before any audience arrives. It is a chance to step into the flow of life with purpose, not hesitation. Each moment at dawn is a brushstroke on the canvas of our existence, and it demands the firm, confident hand of a craftsman intent on producing a masterpiece. Nature awakens with vitality, with rhythm, with a certain majestic indifference to complaint or hesitation. The rivers flow with relentless purpose, carving valleys and nourishing lands without ever questioning their course. The trees stretch upward, enduring storms and droughts alike, growing inch by inch toward the heavens with silent resolve. The birds sing not because the world is free of hardship, but because the act of singing itself affirms their place in the grand design. There is no bitterness in their action, no hesitation in their spirit. Everything fulfills its nature with an unflinching commitment to existence. You too are part of this grand, awe-inspiring order. You are not separate from it. You are woven into the very fabric of life, tasked with the same call to unfold your potential without resentment or resistance. To drag yourself reluctantly through the morning, burdened by complaints or weighed down by hesitation, is to betray your own sacred design. It is to refuse the noble action you were meant for, to stifle the very spark of vitality that the universe has granted you. Resisting the natural laws of growth, motion, and striving, the eternal rhythms that pulse within every living thing, is a refusal to truly live. Your life, like the river, is meant to move forward, to cut its path through the landscape of experience, to shape and be shaped by its journey. It is not meant to stagnate in pools of self-pity or laziness. It is meant to surge onward, to answer every obstacle with deeper determination and every hardship with greater strength. Embrace your morning as nature embraces the dawn, with fierce energy, quiet dignity, and an unbreakable spirit, eager to meet the tasks of the day. Stand with the trees, the rivers, and the birds, and let your first acts at sunrise be declarations of your belonging to this ancient sacred rhythm. Meet the day not as a reluctant servant, but as a willing, joyful participant in the grand, ongoing dance of life. Spend 5 minutes outside each morning, no phone, no music. Feel the air, listen to the sounds, and remind yourself, I am a part of this vast, beautiful order. Chapter 5. Setting the Standard. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. The thoughts you nurture in the morning stain the entire fabric of your day, seeping into every interaction, every reaction, every decision. Begin the day with irritation, and the smallest inconveniences will swell into seemingly insurmountable grievances. Negativity will cling to your mind like heavy mist, coloring every experience with frustration and resentment. Begin with gratitude, and even the hardest challenges can be reframed as opportunities to grow, as stepping stones toward becoming a more resilient and virtuous soul. The morning mindset is the soil in which the entire day's experiences will take root. Choose your soil wisely. A Stoic understands this deeply and thus sets the standard each morning with deliberate clarity. Today, I will not let external events disturb my peace. I will meet every moment with excellence, regardless of circumstance. This is not a passive hope, but an active vow, a conscious choice made before the day's chaos begins. It is a line drawn in the sand, against which the world's pressures will crash and break harmlessly. Notice with care, this standard is purely internal. It is not contingent upon the weather, the traffic, the attitudes of strangers, the demands of your job, or the surprises fate has in store. It rests entirely upon your sovereign decision to hold yourself to a higher way of being, a way defined not by reaction, but by intention, not by mood, but by principle. By mastering your morning mindset, you seize command over the only realm you truly govern, yourself. You step into the driver's seat of your own existence, no longer a passenger to whims or circumstances. You become the eye of the storm, calm, steady, and unshaken, carrying the serenity and strength of early dawn within you like an unextinguishable flame that defies the fiercest winds of adversity. This flame does not flicker before anger, it does not bow before fear, and it does not dim under the weight of exhaustion. Every conversation you engage in, every hardship that confronts you, and every victory you earn will be approached with a powerful, deliberate presence, a presence that is not hurried, not anxious, not fragile. You will not merely react to life, you will respond with precision, with principle, and with unwavering calm. This centeredness will become your silent signature, the quiet force that others sense but cannot fully name, an inner command that speaks before you even open your mouth. Mastering yourself in the morning radiates outward through every fiber of your being, like a silent energy that precedes you into every room you enter. It becomes an invisible armor, not heavy or burdensome, but light and impenetrable, that shields you from the petty irritations, needless provocations, and chaotic demands of the external world. This armor does not numb you to life, rather, it allows you to move through it with deeper sensitivity, yet without fragility. You respond, but you do not react. You engage, but you do not entangle. It whispers to the world without arrogance, but with undeniable magnetic clarity. Here stands someone who has wrestled with himself and emerged victorious. Someone who does not tremble at adversity, nor crave the applause of the crowd. Here is a soul that seeks not to dominate others, but who has first subdued the wild battleground of his own impulses, fears, and doubts. Here is someone who has traded shallow comfort for deep strength, fleeting pleasure for lasting peace. This silent strength, born from mastering the first light of day, transforms your very presence. It is not something you need to announce. It is felt, sensed, and recognized instinctively. It makes you trustworthy without trying, respectable without demand, powerful without show. It is a fire that warms, but never burns. Here stands someone unshaken, unbreakable, and fully, fiercely alive. An example of what is possible when a person chooses every morning to rise, not just from bed, but into their highest self. Before beginning any work, conversation, or social interaction, take a deliberate pause to establish your standard of the day. Choose a word or principle that you wish to embody, something that will serve as your guiding star, your invisible code of honor. Write it down on a sticky note or a small card and carry it with you throughout the day. Every time you feel yourself wavering, every time external chaos threatens to sway your mood or steal your focus, return to that word as your anchor. Examples of standards you might set include patience, when you know the day ahead will be filled with delays and frustrations. Focus, when distractions are likely to swarm you from every direction. Compassion, when dealing with people who might test your kindness. Courage, when facing decisions that require boldness rather than retreat. This simple act transforms your day from a series of random reactions into a deliberate expression of character. It turns every encounter, every task, and every challenge into an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to the person you aspire to be. Chapter 6. Movement as Meditation. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Socrates. While Stoicism is often seen as a philosophy of the mind, the body is its essential ally. How you treat your body in the morning reflects how you treat life itself. Early movement grounds you, wakes the body fully, and signals to the mind that you are ready to engage the world actively. A Stoic approach to morning movement is not about punishing workouts or chasing fleeting aesthetics. It is a sacred ritual of care, a profound ceremony of awakening both body and spirit. It is a conscious reminder that to tend to the vessel is to honor the voyage, to respect the intricate relationship between the body and the mind. Movement in the morning is an offering, an expression of gratitude for the miracle of physical existence. Stretch, walk, lift, breathe. Whatever the method, the intention must always be pure, not vanity, not exhaustion, but vitality, renewal, and empowerment. It is a deliberate act to shake off the remnants of sleep, to stir the blood into lively circulation, to ignite the mind and awaken the soul to the vastness of possibility that each new day presents. This physical engagement is not optional. It is an indispensable cornerstone of living deliberately. The body is the chariot of the mind, the sacred vehicle that carries your ambitions, thoughts, and emotions through the unpredictable terrain of the world. If it is sluggish, weighed down by neglect or lethargy, then so too will your spirit falter and your mind cloud over with heaviness. If the body is neglected, the will becomes weaker, the emotions more erratic, and the mind less agile. Strengthening the body each morning is not an isolated act. It is a profound declaration that you are prepared to carry the responsibilities of life with courage, resilience, and unwavering grace. To honor the body each morning is to affirm your readiness to meet life head-on, to endure hardships without complaint, to celebrate victories without arrogance, and to shoulder responsibilities with a quiet, dignified strength that grows deeper with each passing day. Movement is not merely exercise, it is an intentional act of aligning your physical existence with your highest philosophical ideals. It is a ritual of inner commitment, a sacred promise to yourself that you will not shrink from the challenges of life, but will rise to meet them with a spirit that has been consciously prepared. Every deliberate movement at dawn becomes a rehearsal for the kind of life you aspire to lead. A life marked by perseverance, integrity, resilience, and wisdom. Each stretch, each breath, each step is a brushstroke painting the canvas of your character. It is not about speed or strength alone. It is about cultivating the awareness, discipline, and mindfulness that will carry you through the day with honor and clarity. To move in the morning is to declare to the universe and to yourself that you are awake, alive, and committed to living deliberately. It is a silent anthem sung by your muscles and breath, affirming your readiness to engage with the world as a Stoic, with strength coursing through your veins, virtue illuminating your path, and an unbreakable will leading you ever forward toward the good, the just, and the excellent. Design a 10-minute wake-up flow routine. Include stretches, bodyweight movements, and deep breathing. Perform it every morning before breakfast or major tasks. Chapter 7. Feeding the mind properly. Seneca warned, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." Your morning inputs matter profoundly. Before the world bombards you with a relentless tide of advertisements, bad news, gossip, distractions, and trivialities, it is your sacred responsibility to choose nourishing, strengthening thoughts. What you allow into your mind in the first precious moments of consciousness sets the emotional and mental tone for the hours ahead. If you permit gossip, fear, pettiness, and vanity to be your first teachers of the day, you will find that your character begins to fray by noon. You will be easily disturbed, quick to anger, and slow to reason, dragged along by the emotional currents you allowed to flood your mind at dawn. The Stoics would urge you, with the greatest seriousness and urgency, to begin the day with philosophy, wisdom, and profound self-inquiry. Watching a video such as this one from the Stoicism Legends channel is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is the forging of your mental armor, the sharpening of your inner sword for the battles you will inevitably face. These ancient voices, full of piercing clarity, unbreakable strength, and timeless counsel, become your silent companions and your invisible mentors. Their wisdom walks beside you throughout the chaos of the day, their steady hand always near when doubt creeps in or frustration threatens to take hold. Their words serve as handrails when your footing slips on the treacherous paths of anger, fear, or temptation, compasses when you lose your way amid confusion, and torches when the path before you grows dark and uncertain. They do more than guide, they embolden. Their principles ignite a fire within you, a fire that can withstand the cold winds of criticism, misfortune, and fatigue. Feeding your mind with their teachings each morning is not an option. It is a sacred duty to yourself. It is a daily act of resilience, a preparation of the soul against the inevitable tests that lie ahead. It plants deep within you the seeds of courage, patience, and virtue, seeds that will blossom at precisely the moments you most need them. To feed your mind properly in the morning is to honor your soul's desperate need for guidance before the world's noise and confusion can creep in and cloud your judgment. It is to armor yourself in wisdom so that you do not walk into the world defenseless and blind, but awake, aware, and prepared to meet every hour of the day with strength, clarity, and dignity. Chapter 8. Choosing the harder right. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. Each morning presents small but powerful forks in the road, a quiet battlefield where you must decide between what is easy and what is right. The easy choice often comes disguised in the comforting whisper of 5 more minutes, the temptation to skip preparation, to procrastinate, to indulge in mental laziness. These easy paths offer immediate relief, but they carry a heavy cost paid later in the currency of regret, lost opportunity, and weakened character. In contrast, the harder right, the decision to rise, to prepare, to focus, demands forethought, sacrifice, and perseverance. It demands that you look beyond the comfort of the present moment and align yourself with the long arc of your higher destiny. The Stoic does not shy away from effort. They do not shrink from hardship or lament that the path is narrow, steep, and often lonely. They choose it gladly, with open eyes and open hearts, because they know that virtue, true strength, wisdom, and resilience lies not at the bottom of the hill, but at its summit. They understand that every difficult step strengthens the soul, and every sacrifice sharpens the mind. Every hard choice chisels away weakness, indifference, and cowardice, shaping a masterpiece of character, an edifice of strength that cannot be easily toppled by the storms of fate. The Stoic embraces the climb, not merely for the glory of the peak, but for what the climb itself transforms within. Each blister, each moment of exhaustion, each pang of doubt is fuel for the fire of growth. They do not curse the steep path, they thank it for being worthy of their effort. The easy road breeds softness, the hard road forges steel. Each morning you are faced with this sacred choice, to train your soul or to neglect it. There is no neutrality. Even the smallest hesitation, the quietest concession to weakness, plants seeds that grow roots deep into your character. Even inaction is a decision, one with consequences that ripple through your future. Small decisions, seemingly insignificant in the moment, are the chisels that sculpt your character over time, etching virtues or vices into the stone of your being. Each choice is either a step toward your highest self or a slow drift into mediocrity and self-betrayal. Remember this: the monument of your life is built one stone at a time, and every morning lays another stone, a cornerstone of your destiny, a silent testament to your will and values. Will it be a stone placed with care, precision, and vision, set firmly into the edifice of your life's work, or one carelessly dropped, cracked, unstable, and misaligned with your highest intentions? Each morning is not merely a continuation of yesterday, but a fresh opportunity to add new strength, new character, and new meaning to the structure of your existence. Every small decision, the choice to rise early, to prepare your mind, to act in accordance with virtue rather than impulse, is a deliberate act of craftsmanship. Over weeks, months, and years, these choices build up quietly but powerfully into a monument either of greatness or of regret. Choose wisely, for the architecture of your soul depends upon it. Choose wisely, because every stone you place shapes not only the day before you, but the person you are becoming. This is the silent, slow construction of your future, a future that will either stand tall and unshakable against the storms of fate or crumble under the weight of neglected responsibility. Ask yourself each morning with quiet seriousness: am I building a stronghold for the spirit, a temple of purpose, or a ruin of wasted potential? Write down one hard right task every morning, something you wish to avoid but know will strengthen you. Commit to completing it before midday. Chapter 9. Practicing Memento Mori. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. The ultimate morning practice for a Stoic is to remember mortality. This is not morbid, it is liberating. To remember that today could be your last breathes urgency and sincerity into everything you do. When you rise, reflect for a brief moment. If today were my last, how would I live it? Such a perspective vaporizes pettiness, like the morning sun burns away mist, leaving behind only the hard, clear outlines of what truly matters. Arguments, delays, grudges, the small grievances that so often consume our precious energy, All shrink to insignificance under the vast and humbling gaze of mortality. When you recognize that each breath could be your last, that every word you speak and every action you take could be among your final ones, there is little room left for resentment, for impatience, or for bitterness. They appear for what they are, distractions from the profound urgency of living well. You see with sudden and piercing clarity what matters and what does not. Trivial frustrations fall away like dead leaves in a storm, and you are left standing face to face with the essential, the beauty of a kind word, the nobility of a courageous act, the wisdom of a patient mind, the tenderness of love offered without expectation. You feel almost instinctively the preciousness of time and the devastating futility of wasting it on anger, pride, or vanity. What remains, after the illusions fall away and the soul is laid bare, is what is timeless and essential. Courage to face the unknown without trembling, kindness to extend freely to others who are also carrying heavy burdens, wisdom to discern clearly what truly deserves your attention and energy, and love, the unbreakable bond that transcends even death and leaves a ripple in the world far greater than any monument of stone. These virtues are not optional, they are the pillars upon which a meaningful life is built. Mortality strips life of its trivialities, burns away the shallow pursuits, and demands with uncompromising clarity that you live not for appearances, not for fleeting accolades, not for the hollow applause of the crowd, but for what is real, deep, and eternal. It insists that you recognize how fragile and precious this fleeting moment truly is, and calls you to live with a gravity that honors this miracle. Every breath becomes sacred, every choice weighty, every encounter meaningful. There is no room for half-hearted living. There is only the fierce urgency of authenticity, the burning need to embrace each day with the full intensity of your heart and mind. Life, when seen through the clear lens of mortality, ceases to be a mere sequence of events and transforms into a sacred opportunity, a chance to craft meaning where none is guaranteed. Mortality teaches you that time is not just passing. It is slipping through your fingers like water, irretrievable and precious beyond measure. It demands that you set aside the petty dramas, the idle complaints, the shallow distractions, and instead focus your spirit on creating something noble, something worthy of your fleeting existence. It calls you to act with a sincerity that is unshakable, to bring your full presence to the people you love, not distracted or half-hearted, but fully engaged and deeply committed. To the work you undertake, not with reluctance, but with a sense of sacred duty. To the virtues you strive to embody, not when it is convenient, but especially when it is most difficult. Mortality urges you to strip away pretense, to discard the masks and illusions, and to live in fierce alignment with the highest truths you know. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now, immediately, urgently. Because life, as the Stoics teach, is not a rehearsal. It is the only stage upon which your soul will ever have the chance to perform its grand and final masterpiece. And when the curtain falls, it will not rise again. Each morning, after waking and before moving on to tasks, take a sacred pause. Find a quiet space, sit or stand comfortably, and close your eyes for one uninterrupted minute. During this brief but powerful moment, silently repeat to yourself with full presence and sincerity, "I am mortal. Today is a gift." Feel the weight and the wonder of these words. Let them sink into the marrow of your being. Imagine for a moment that this day could be your last, not in fear, but in reverence. Let gratitude rise within you for the simple, miraculous act of breathing, for the warmth of the sun, for the chance to speak, to act, to love, to think. Visualize the opportunities, the people, and even the challenges that await you, and see them all as gifts wrapped in the fragile paper of time. Allow this reflection to recalibrate your priorities, sharpening your focus and softening your heart. Feel yourself anchored deeply to the truth that life is fleeting and precious beyond measure. Begin your day rooted in this awareness, carrying the sacred fire of gratitude, urgency, and authenticity into every action you take. Chapter 10. The Unbreakable Routine. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Epictetus, a Stoic morning is not built by occasional flashes of inspiration or rare bursts of motivation, but by disciplined, unwavering repetition. It is the day-in, day-out commitment to principles, even when enthusiasm fades. Greatness does not arrive in grand moments of glory, but is patiently, quietly constructed through the hammering consistency of ordinary mornings. A single strong morning matters, yes, but 100 strong mornings, stitched together like the panels of a mighty sail, can catch the winds of destiny and forge an entirely new existence, one grounded in resilience, clarity, and unshakable purpose. Crafting a personal, inviolable morning routine is an act of supreme self-respect, a bold declaration that your inner state will not be surrendered to the randomness of circumstance. It says with quiet but unyielding authority, "I will not leave my mood, my focus, my soul to chance." Like a devoted craftsman sharpening his tools each day, knowing that his art and survival depend on them, you tend carefully to your mind and body before offering yourself to the demands of the world. Your morning is your workshop, your sanctuary, the forge where your armor is hammered into shape. This routine becomes your shield and sword. It is your invisible armor against the corrosive forces of anxiety, the gnawing pull of anger, the hollow depths of despair, and the paralyzing grip of self-doubt. Each morning that you faithfully adhere to your principles, you fortify this armor, layering it with additional strength, resilience, and clarity. It is the disciplined cultivation of habits, small, seemingly simple habits repeated with fierce devotion, that over time make you unbreakable in the face of adversity. Each repetition is not just an act, it is a statement, a declaration that your ideals are more than words. They are the blueprint of your life. Each morning you renew this silent vow to yourself, to act with discipline, to think with wisdom, to move with purpose. Every morning, discipline binds you closer to your highest self, strengthening the sacred bond between who you are and who you are striving to become. Your cultivated morning becomes an armor forged in fire, an armor not of steel, but of spirit, unyielding to the chaos of the world, impervious to the storms of distraction and the assaults of circumstance. It becomes your sanctuary, a sacred space untouched by the noise and confusion of the outside world, and your launchpad, the point from which you launch purposeful, deliberate action into the day ahead. It is a fortress you build around your soul each morning, brick by brick, forged from discipline, clarity, and resilience. This preparation transforms you from a passive recipient of life's chaos into an active, powerful creator of meaning, virtue, and destiny. You no longer drift with the tides of emotion or whimsy. You steer your ship with steady hands toward horizons of your own choosing. Each morning, ritual becomes a profound affirmation that you are not here to merely endure existence, but to shape it, to mold your fleeting hours into a legacy of courage, wisdom, and compassion. Through this unwavering morning ritual, you do not merely survive the day. You dominate it with grace, with intention sharpened like a blade, and with an unbreakable strength that flows not from arrogance, but from quiet mastery. You greet adversity not with panic, but with poise, setbacks not with despair, but with creative energy. You become, little by little, the architect of a life sculpted by the hands of discipline, vision, and indomitable spirit. Create a morning constitution. a carefully crafted, written, and unbreakable list of 5 to 7 morning practices you solemnly commit to performing daily without excuse or deviation. These are not casual habits. They are the foundational rituals upon which you will build your discipline, resilience, and excellence. Choose practices that ignite your mind, fortify your body, sharpen your spirit, and realign you with your highest values each morning. Once crafted, post your morning constitution in a prominent place, on your bedroom wall, on your bathroom mirror, beside your workspace. Anywhere it will confront you and remind you daily of your commitment. Let it be the first law you obey each day, a contract between your current self and your future greatness. Guard it fiercely. Resist the temptation to edit or excuse your way out of it during moments of weakness. Revise your morning constitution only after completing 30 days of relentless, consistent practice, not before. After a full cycle of discipline, reflect with clear judgment on what strengthened you and what did not, and adjust accordingly. Each word, each practice on your constitution should be a deliberate, sacred choice aimed at forging an indomitable morning foundation for the life you seek to create. To master your morning is to declare full sovereignty over your existence, to rise each day as the true ruler of your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your fate. The first hour is not merely a prelude to the rest of your day. It is the sacred forge where your highest self is crafted, hammered, and tempered. It is in these early moments that you set the standard for who you will be when adversity strikes, when temptation whispers, and when the easy path beckons. Through deliberate acts of gratitude, unwavering discipline, honest self-reflection, purposeful movement, wisdom-seeking, courageous choice, remembrance of mortality, and the fierce protection of an unfailing morning routine, you build far more than just a good start to your day. You construct an entire existence of virtue, resilience, and transcendent purpose. Every repetition deepens the roots of your character, anchoring you so deeply in your principles that no storm can uproot you. The Stoics knew with absolute certainty that no external power, no emperor, no fortune, no misfortune could truly govern a man or woman who governed their own soul. They taught that by mastering the smallest, quietest domains, the flicker of thought upon waking, the decision of your first actions at dawn, you lay claim to mastery over the greatest domains, your character, your destiny, your legacy. What seems small is, in fact, everything. Rise with purpose, knowing that each action you take is not random or insignificant, but a carefully placed brick laid in the monument of your life's enduring legacy. Understand that even the smallest decisions, to rise promptly, to greet the morning with gratitude, to resist the allure of comfort, compound over time, shaping the architecture of your soul and crafting the destiny you will ultimately live. Recognize that these small acts of discipline are not isolated. They are the threadwork that weaves together the fabric of greatness. Rise with honor, recognizing that every fleeting moment is a mirror reflecting the soul you are actively becoming, offering you a precious, fleeting opportunity to live with integrity, to choose excellence over ease, to act with courage rather than fear, and to embody the highest, noblest version of yourself. Treat each sunrise as a sacred summons, an opportunity handed to you by the very cosmos to live more truly, more fiercely, more aligned with the timeless virtues you hold dear. Hold yourself to a standard not determined by the shifting opinions of others, but one forged by your inner commitment to virtue, wisdom, and unwavering self-respect. Let your morning become a ceremony of remembrance, a remembrance of who you are, who you aspire to be, and what legacy you seek to leave in the wake of your life. Rise as a Stoic, undaunted by the inevitable hardships that will seek to test your spirit, unbreakable in the face of adversity that would discourage lesser hearts, and unyielding to the endless temptations and distractions that seek to erode your focus and your will. Rise fully awake, fiercely aware of the brief, miraculous gift that is today, a gift that demands to be cherished, not squandered. See each morning not as a mindless repetition of yesterday, but as a fresh battlefield upon which you can demonstrate, through thought, word, and deed, the living embodiment of courage, patience, gratitude, and love. Take fierce ownership of this sacred gift and make each dawn a deliberate rebirth, a powerful, conscious choice to live wide-eyed and full-hearted, to stride boldly into the day, determined to leave behind not just footprints, but a life that matters, a soul that stands unshaken, and a spirit that is a beacon to others.